Good evening, and that is incorrect. But welcome to. Let me get that fixed real quickly. There you go. Good evening, and welcome to race number 9, right here at Lone Star 150 at Texas Motor Speedway. My name is Takato Timmerman, and thank you very much for joining us tonight here at FR Racing's Indy Racing World Series. Before we get started, let's take a look at some racetrack information. So right here at Texas Motor Speedway, it's located in Fort Worth, Texas, opened in 1996, has a track length of about 1.5 miles, banking on turns 1 and 2 is about 20 degrees, while turns 3 and 4 are at 24 degrees. The front and the back stretch are at 5 degrees, and some notable things about this race course is that the races were held here between 1997 and 2023, just up till last year. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. This is race number 9, and because it is race number 9, let's take a look at our standings and see how close it is right here. So after 8 races, we are pretty darn close for the top 2. If Eric wins this race, he'll come even closer to Josh Rochinski, who's in first place currently at 306 points. Ian Miller is currently in third place with 251 points. And then we got Derek Booker right behind him at 232. Let's take a look around. Looks like 8th place is pretty close between Bill Cawley II and Eric Mattingly with 178 points each. Looks like we got Mattingly in the race tonight, and so we may see that change. Another close one is between 11th place of Joe Hutchings and 12th place of Mark Ouellette. Hutchings and Ouellette are... I thought I saw Ouellette earlier. I guess not. Right now, it is just Hutchings in the practice session right now. And another close race will be between 14th and 15th of Brandon Birmingham and Tyler Lugo Vickery. And I don't think either of them are currently in the practice session. But keep an eye out for the top 3 drivers tonight. Or top 4, I guess. It would be pretty close between the top 4. And don't count out Wyatt Franklin in 5th place. He only sits 10 points behind Derek Booker in 4th. So those are something to keep an eye out for in tonight's race. Let's take a look at our schedule. This is race number 9, and that means we only got one more race. So we are currently at Texas. We will be running a couple laps around here, and then we'll have a week off next week, and then we'll go straight to Las Vegas, where it will be run in the evening, so we will not see the bright blue skies like we do here today at Texas. There's our practice results from tonight's from the practice session, and now we are going into qualifying. On that note, I would like to bring up our sponsor. This race is presented by Rogue Energy. Rogue Energy focuses on 4 product lines: Hydration, Energy, Shake, and Extreme, which is their pre-workout line. They are a gaming company at heart and offer high-quality products as an alternative to traditional sugary energy drinks. Check out their product line, and don't forget to use our promo code FRRacing online. Use that promo code and save 10% off your next purchase. So right now, about 4 minutes left to qualifying, and as we wait for qualifying to go through, let's give some love to not our Wednesday Night Dash, because they are off this week, but to a different race, the GT Sprint Series. So this is, we will be streaming this this Saturday, May 11th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We will be at Mount Panorama Circuit, located in Bathurst, Australia. This series is just a fun series. There's no points. There's no nothing on the line. Just to open up the race and have some fun. DJ will be hosting it, and I will be co-hosting the race this Saturday at 9 a.m. So if you enjoy hearing me broadcast, which I don't think anyone really I don't know about that much. If you're willing to wake up early on a Saturday morning and watch me broadcast, but if you want to watch some fun racing around a circuit, not a circuit, but a road course, this is your race. Last time we had 3 drivers. Hopefully we were gonna get a little bit more of a more drivers in the race this time. It's a very hard very hard course to run. I had a lot of fun driving it over the weekend, and I will probably be driving it up until then, so that I can get some insider information on the race course, because I do enjoy doing that, and I have a little bit more time on my hands now. And on that note, let's go take a look at some of the things to look out for in tonight's race. So Lone Star 150, what to watch out for? There are 100 laps, and the fuel window is between laps 54 and 55. So we're looking at 1 stop total. For qualification, there will be 2 laps. There will be cautions along the whole field. So if there is a wipeout, a crash, and it goes into the main part of the racetrack, we will pull the caution, and that will give everyone an opportunity to come into the pits. But since everyone is looking to pit at only once with a fuel window of 54 to 55, I think it won't change the not the results, but the order or how many times each driver pits. There will be 1 green flag, white flag, and a checkered flag, and the previous winner is non-existent because this is our first race here. So keep an eye out to see our inaugural winner here at Texas Motor Speedway. Thank you very much for joining us tonight here at Stadium Scene TV. We really appreciate you joining us tonight. We hope that tonight's race will be a good, fun race. I got a little bit of insider information, as I said earlier, and I also hopped onto the booth earlier to talk to some of the drivers, and they were explaining to me how they were adjusting their weight jacker. They were adjusting it up all to either 8 or 10, which I believe means moving their weight all the way to the front. And then I believe it was their tow bar. They were going low on it, which I cannot explain what that is. I usually just run the base setup and call it good. My expertise in racing is not as in depth as everyone else's is. And turns 1 and 2. Actually, I'll pull up the track map since we have a little bit of time. So let me pull that up. But on turns 1 and 2, as you can see on the left side, it is a 20-degree banking turn, and because of that, you have to let off the fuel and you have to pedal a little bit. You can't go full throttle into turns 1 and 2. But turns 3 and 4 and the tri-oval or the front stretch, that is where you can floor it at full speed, and according to the drivers, that will probably be where we see a lot of the passing going on tonight. So keep an eye out for that. I don't know if they're joining us tonight, but there is a new driver joining us for the end of the season. His name is Kellen Kloot. So please welcome him if you see him on the track tonight. If not, hopefully he'll join us in Las Vegas next 2 weeks from now. On that note, looks like everyone is coming into the race because this qualifying is done. And we will show you the final result once it loads of qualification. Hope everyone's having a good night so far. I know there's been a lot of storms in the Midwest, and we got hit by a couple thunderstorms tonight over here. So if the power goes out, that might be I hope it doesn't, but if the screen goes black, it's probably because the power went out over here. So just a heads up, just want to warn you. They are racing, I believe either DJ or Eric is running on the FR Racing stream. So if the power does go out, go hop on in over there and watch the end of the race if you would. And it looks like we are off. We got leading us off Mattingly In second is Chinsky. Third place is Miller. Fourth place is Richardson. Fifth place is Hutchings. Sixth place is Booker. Seventh place is Franklin. Eighth place is McKinney. Ninth place is Johnson. And 10th place is Fluck. And we're going to grab someone real quickly right before the race starts. I'll grab Eric Richardson. Hey, Eric. This is the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good.
Any plans for the race tonight? Any race strategies real quickly?
Just try to keep it clean and see what we can do.
Sounds good. Well, good luck tonight. I'm going to put you back into the chat and hope you have a great race.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Sorry for the quick interview, ladies and gentlemen. I did kind of get to this a little later. It is a quick parade lap around, and I want to make sure he gets enough time to focus and get ready for the race, as we are going for green flag conditions very shortly. As they are taking it, as the pace car goes down into the pits, they end turns 4, and here we go. Green flag, and the race is off. Got Mattingly leading us off. And Chinsky and Miller following close behind. Be interesting to... Oh! Mattingly takes it hard into the wall, and the caution is out. I'm not sure what happened, so I will try to pull the replay up. I wonder if he got hit from the back. So we're going to do a quick replay here. And see if we can see what happened. Let's see here. Alrighty, I think I got it. So we're going to return to the broadcast. As we see Mattingly there in our center right there. And let's see. And looks like he just lost it off of the end of turn 4. So that is unfortunate for him. And let's hope that he can get back into the race as soon as possible. As I'm going to try to get us back into the live camera. And that is a great reminder. We do have fast repairs. One fast repair for all the drivers, which means that we will be seeing some more racing. You get pretty much one chance at being able to repair yourself after an incident like that. So as we see, Mattingly's at the back of the line now after the incident off of the lead lap, the first lap. But he will not be a lap down thanks to the fast repair. Well, that was relatively quick for our first caution. But that is racing. I mean, you just never know what goes on and what happens. It is a little slippery off of turns 1 and 2, or after turn 2, which is where Mattingly had his incident, especially on cold tires. Not as sticky, not as much traction. So let's hope and see that we can get some good racing here tonight. Keep an eye out for all the drivers. I think we got about one more lap to go. And then we will be starting the race. Some green flag Racing. It looks like he was a little too aggressive out of turns 2 and then just spun it, which I've done plenty of times when I was on here practicing, just because I wanted to give some, just to be able to give a little more of a better input here in tonight's live broadcast. Really happy to have you here, and we hope that you're having a good time of the race too. I think I'm getting a little bit better with the replay and being able to get it. Obviously, there's definitely always some room for improvement. But I'm happy to say that I'm starting to get it, and it is race number 9. Very happy to have you all in tonight's race as we get ready to go into some more green flag racing as he passes the Geico, as Chinsky passes the Geico restart zone and is off, gets a great jump from the green flag. Miller follows relatively close behind at half a second, with Richardson half a second behind him. Ooh, as we see Booker hit the wall pretty hard back there, but looks like he's able to continue. That might make his steering a little off, so he may have to go into the pits, so keep an eye out for the 4th place car, the number 5 car of Booker. Let's see if he goes into the pits anytime soon. We will have about 50 more laps of racing to go. Ooh, as Ian Miller hits the wall there, 2nd place car, and the gap opens up between him and Chinsky to almost a second. It'll be interesting to see how that affects him. And we'll hop on board with Richardson, who's now a 1/10 of a second behind Miller. Oh, and that was close. That was real close. Some great action here. The one thing I noticed driving this course as Eric Richardson takes the high line is the high line isn't as fast as the inside line, especially around turns 1 and 2. Because the banking's only at 20 degrees versus 24 degrees. That is a big difference between flat out open throttle versus not so open and feathering it to making sure you don't hit the wall. As it looks like Eric Richardson passes Ian Miller to take 2nd place away. As Chinsky's running away with the race with 2 seconds ahead, running 2 seconds ahead of Eric Richardson here on lap 9 of the race. I noticed the inside line is a lot quicker than the outside line. The middle is kind of a hit or miss, but especially around turn 3 and 4, I don't think it really matters too much. If you take the outside line, you have to go up a little bit, but exiting from the outside line of turns 3 and 4 into the tri-oval, it kind of slingshots you ahead and gets you into a good spot to just get ahead of anyone in front of you. Especially if you have the slipstream going into turns 3 and 4, it'd be perfect. You'll just get launched ahead and makes it easy to pass whoever's in front of you. So currently our closest race is up here at the front between Richardson and Miller. Richardson was the driver that hopped on to the broadcast before green flag tonight. He just wanted to keep it clean, keep it between the lines, and race a good race tonight. So we'll keep an eye out on him. We'll keep an eye out for all the drivers tonight, and keep an eye out for the closest races around. And we're gonna go hop over with Fluck and Mattingly, as they were pretty close. About half a second between the two drivers. Ooh, and looks like Booker is catching up to Miller here. Remember earlier, Booker did hit the wall a little hard. Not sure if it damaged any parts of his car. Looks like it did not, which is really good. And we're back over with Chinsky, who's leading the race. Now, Miller also had a slight incident where he did tap the wall, and it looks like it didn't affect the aerodynamics of his car. And now back with Fluck And it looks like he's catching up to Mattingly. So we'll keep an eye out for that. See if Fluck is able to go around Mattingly here. Looks like Fluck had to let off the throttle a little bit. Mattingly's defending pretty hard there, looks like. Making sure that Fluck doesn't take his position away from him. We're going to go hop on board 8th place here with Hutchings as he successfully passes Johnston. Oh, it looks like Johnson had a slight incident. He's able to stay off of the main part of the course, so that does not warrant a caution flag. Oh, he's got to stay off the course, though, as the other drivers go to lap him. Let's see if he's going to take a pit. Looks like his front left tire is toast, especially with all the drivers taking the inside line. It looks like he's going to try to limp it back into the course, so we'll keep an eye out for him. And back on board with Fluck. Looks like this is our closest race currently. Oh, it looks like Johnson did take the tow to pit lane, so he will be down a couple laps. I believe he still has a quick repair, so that will allow him to come back out a little quicker, but he will have to wait for the tow truck to take him to the pit lanes before he can repair his car, get some fresh fuel, fresh tires, and come out and rejoin the race. So right now it looks like Fluck has a really good turns 3, 4, tri-oval. And it looks like between turns 1 and 2 is where Mattingly just runs away from Fluck. So if he's able to lock down the turns 3 and 4, he'll be able to. Oh, it looks like we had an incident here. I'm not sure if there's any damage, but he's not able to go as fast. He might have hit the wall and stayed on the wall. Do a quick replay here. Let's see what happened. Yeah, it looks like he hit the wall as we return back to the broadcast. Here he goes hard into the wall. That might have hurt his alignment, as it looks like he's in the pits currently. So we'll go back to the live view real quickly. Yeah, he's in the pits, so he's got to get a quick repair in. So we'll go back out and take a look at the race. That will shift around the standings. Richardson is down a lap now. He will be the driver to get a lucky dog if there is another caution that comes out. And we're back on board with Fluck as he is going to try for 7th place, and we're going to go over to McKinney as he's duking it out for 3rd place between Booker and himself. About 0.3 of a second separate the two drivers. Let's see what kind of line they take. So they're on turns 3 and 4. They go from the mid line to the low line, back to the outside, and cut the tri-oval, go through it, let off a little bit there. I feel like turns 1 and 2 is where a lot of the pacing is going to be set, and that will carry over into how turns 3, 4, and the tri-oval go. Because depending on how quick you go into turns 1 and 2, and if you can survive getting through the wall, because you take it a little too hot, then you're going to be able to start passing people in the backstretch, and then into turn 3, and then turn 4. So I think it's important to try to get the speed out of turn 2 and get ready for the backstretch, but that also comes with a big risk. If you prioritize speed and go in a too hot, you're going to have to either let off quicker, which means a bigger gap after exiting turn 2, or running straight into the wall at the exit of turn 2. As we've seen a couple drivers so far, we've seen 1 or 2 drivers so far do that. as McKinney got real close to passing Booker, but was unable to complete it. I think we'll see a pass in the backstretch between the backstretch in turns 3 and 4 and the tri-oval. Those will be our passing locations, our overtaking locations. But we'll keep an eye out and see where that actually is. Ooh, as McKinney takes a deep drive into the inside line, which is real risky, especially running on that white line. Because if your tire gets a little bit onto the flat part of that track there, inside the white line, you can wipe out pretty hard, and you might as well just get towed to the pits, because that will cause a big crash. Only reason why I know that is because yours truly has done that a couple times, driving around this race course. Ooh, as McKinney takes a nice line on the inside and goes for the pass, but looks like Booker got a faster exit out of turn 2. Tries to avoid McKinney and not let him get the slipstream. Let's see if McKinney can get it. Looks like Booker takes a more aggressive line through the tri-ovals, and McKinney kind of takes it a little softer. As McKinney this time takes the mid line, cuts into the inside line, and tries to get some speed. Looks like he's able to get it, and he's going for the pass. Takes the inside line and is able to pass Booker. Let's see if he can make it stick. And it looks like he's able to make it stick the tri-oval. So we enter turn 1, and it looks like he's going to be able to keep it for a little bit, as the gap opens up to 1/10 of a second. Ooh, will Booker be able to take it up from the outside line? Got a nice slipstream. Looks like he's going to stay behind McKinney for now. Here we go, turns 1 and 2. We'll see. Looks like it's going to be a 3-way fight for third place coming up soon. 0.3 of a second separate the 3 drivers of McKinney, Booker, and Franklin. As Franklin kind of splits away and Booker speeds up. Turns 1 and 2 will make or break the drivers and whether or not they can get ahead or will have to stay behind and where they're at. As we see Franklin kind of fall behind the pack there after exiting turns 1 and 2. It looks like McKinney's found his groove here out of turns 1 and 2. But it looks like Booker is able to carry more speed out of the turns. So this is going to be interesting. Whether it's going to be quicker to take it a little... I don't know if slower is the right word in turns 1 and 2. Or maybe a quicker path, I guess might be a better way to put it. A quicker path through turns 1 and 2, or a faster exit out of turn 2. Because McKinney is quicker through turns 1 and 2, but Booker has a faster exit out of turn 2. I don't know if that makes any sense. Well, that is something to keep an eye out for. Franklin is falling a little bit behind. He's about a second behind now of Booker. Looks like he hasn't quite found his rhythm or his groove in the driving and this race course tonight. It looks like Chinsky's leading by a big lead right now. It's about 6 seconds ahead. It looks like Booker has fallen behind McKinney about 0.7 of a second. So I think we go hop on board with Chinsky and see how he's taking the race course, and see if he's downshifting or upshifting. So we'll go inside. So he's in 5th gear. He maxed out 5th gear. Ooh, we got a lap car of Johnston. Let's see what he's doing here. Looks like he's going to stay on the outside. Let Chinsky pass him. And now Johnston is 5 laps down. Looks like he red lines it to the top of fourth gear before he shifts up into fifth at the beginning of the tri-oval, downshifts into turn 1, and then starts hitting the gas in the apex of turn 2, between turns 1 and 2. Red lines it on fourth gear. Oh, actually, he upshifted at the end, beginning of turn 3. Let's see if he's going to shift it up to sixth gear. I don't think he will be, as he enters turns 1 and 2. I'm not sure when he decides to shift to fifth gear or not, because it looks like the first 2 laps that we followed along, looks like he's changed it. But it looks like Chensky does upshift and downshift, so that's something good to know. Let's hop on board with Miller in second place and see what he does. I wonder if it'll be the same or not. Looks like he didn't wait for the lights to beep at him, the blue lights at the top of his steering wheel. But he does upshift to fifth gear. Let's see if he downshifts into this turn. Yep, he looks like he does downshift into fourth gear. And then hits the accelerator at the end of turn 2. And he upshifts before he enters turns 3 and 4. It's a little bit of a different shifting strategy between the 2 drivers of Chinsky and Miller. Let's hop on board with McKinney, who's in third place, and see how he does it. As it looks like Miller did stay in fifth gear for that one. Still at 8 seconds behind Chinsky. And we'll hop on board with McKinney. And it looks like he's in sixth gear. I wonder, let's see how he does it around this course here. I guess he stays in sixth gear. He may not be shifting too much. As in, at all. Ooh, and we got a pass back in fifth place there between Franklin and Hutchings, so we'll go jump over there real quickly. It looks like there's a good race between Franklin and Hutchings. Looks like Hutchings is trying to take his position back from Franklin. Or Franklin's trying to protect his position. I'm not sure. But it looks like right now Franklin is in the lead. Or he's not in the lead, but he's in front of Hutchings by only less than 1/10 of a second. It's pretty darn close. So we go in the tri-oval. Got a good race brewing here. As Fluck in the number 88 car is enjoying this, because that means he gets to catch up to this action and potentially capitalize on it and go around both of them to try to take fifth place away from the 2 drivers. Looks like Matt Hutchings was able to run away from the 2 drivers, Franklin and Fluck. As Franklin is about a second behind now after they were super close together. Not sure what happened there. We're going to hop on board with Fluck as he's going to try to take Franklin's position of 6th place. And looks like he was successful in overtaking Franklin. And it looks like, is that Chinsky passing Franklin here? I think it is. As Franklin will now be a lap down, and Chinsky is on the hunt to start chasing after these drivers. Next person on the list for Chinsky will be Fluck. And it looks like, Franklin hit the wall there to let Johnson through. And it looks like we got a good race between 4th and 5th place of Hutchings and Booker. So let's keep an eye out here. And the driver, as Hutchings hit the wall, and looks like it was only a glancing blow, so he was able to not lose too much speed. The car behind them is Chinsky as he is chasing them down, trying to lap more cars. We'll see if Hutchings is able to stick this overtake and see if he's able to run away from Chinsky or not. Booker kind of ran it a little close into Chinsky and finally lets him through. It looks like Chinsky is going to take the inside line and Hutchings will let him through without too much resistance. And it looks like Hutchings hit the wall again. So another contact there. And Miller has gone into the pits. It is lap 53. I almost forgot about that. Remember, laps 55 and 56 is the fuel window. So McKinney is still out. Miller is into the pits. Johnson, who was 5 laps down at one point, is now in the pits. Looks like Booker has also gone into the pits. Fluck has gone into the pits. And we'll keep an eye out on all the other drivers. Chinsky's still out on lap 55. I wonder if he's doing a fuel save strategy. Because he was about, I think he was at 1.8 seconds ahead. Oh, and Chinsky is in the pits. Looks like he has pitted. And we'll be getting fresh tires and a full tank of gas. So this will be a big opportunity for Hutchings to try to be able to... Oh, it looks like Hutchings will be going into the pits as well. As we see Booker hit the wall hard. Let's see if he's got no more control. That's going to be dangerous. And the caution is out. I'm glad he took the tow quick. And the caution is out. Lap 56. It is our second caution, and this is after all the drivers have taken their pits. It looks like Booker's out of the race. I'm not sure if I'm seeing that correctly or not. We'll see if he re-enters the race. And my tracking shows that Richardson is in second. So Chinsky, Richardson, Miller, Hutchings, McKinney, Franklin, Fluck, Booker, Johnson, and Mattingly. We'll keep an eye out and see what is going on. On that note, since it is the caution, well, let's go take a look at what happened here and what caused this incident. As I take it back through the replay, it looks like we got it. And here we go. Looks like exit of turn 4. Takes a little too hot and hits the wall pretty hard. Oh no, that is turn 1 and 2. That's the exit of turn 2. And he unfortunately gets into the middle of the race course, and the caution flag does come out. As we will return it back to the main broadcast. Or not the main broadcast, but I guess back to the live view of the course. As all the drivers are going around. We are currently on lap 58 of 100 with 43 laps to go. Had a pretty big shakeup in the track so far. Our top 3 to start the race was Mattingly, Chinsky, and Miller. Chinsky and Miller are still in the top 3. And Mattingly, unfortunately, is in 10th place, sitting 15 laps down. I think he had a couple incidents in the race tonight. We do know the first incident that prompted the first caution flag was he did spin out on I think lap 1 at the exit of turn 2 with cold tires. A little tough to try to keep traction down there. And it looks like Hutchings and I think that was Franklin are into the pits. Maybe they are going for fresh tires to start off after this race, or not after this race, but after this caution. It looks like it's Chinsky there in the SRT livery. Miller in the orange car. McKinney in the Atari car. Fluck in the, I believe that is the stadium scene. Nope, that is the Simply Safe car. I think that's the stadium scene car. That must be the Simply Safe car. Can I get a closer view? And then we got Mattingly in a nice, looks like a Jedi Star Wars livery. I think that's a Jedi symbol at the front of his car. I could be very wrong. And then we got Hutchings in a nice red, white, blue Bulls livery, and then we got Franklin in his team livery, HSR, I believe. And it looks like we got one more lap to go for the parade lap. Got 41 laps to go. We are on lap 60. And I think we'll drag. We won't drag any of the drivers in. I don't really want to distract them in the middle of the race. I know it's the caution, but I feel a little bad if they're thinking of a strategy and I jump in and interview them in the middle of the caution. So I'll ask for their opinion after this race and maybe for the Las Vegas race, not next week, but the week after, 2 weeks from now, and see if during a caution we can bring in one of the drivers. I think it'll be fine, but I'd rather ask for permission before I pull them in, because I haven't done it the whole series, and I'd prefer to make sure that they are okay giving a in-race interview during a caution, rather than just pulling them in and surprising them. Not everyone likes surprises. Not everyone likes so we'll see if we can get some drivers in for our race finale. Now with this restart, as we are about to go green flag, and the green flag goes, Richardson, who is sitting in second overall with the points standing, is right now 4th place with Chinsky sitting in the lead. If Richardson is able to win this race, then we might have a close race for the lead, or for first and second place for the overall point standing going into the race finale. So these last 40 laps are going to be very important for many of these drivers in order for them to either move up in the point standings or defend their positions, the overall point standings, which I will pull up the graphic because I do have that right. Oh, maybe I can't find it here. Here we go, right there. There you go. Between first and second place, it's gonna take a lot for Richardson to do it, to get some movement there. And between Booker and Franklin, got 37 more laps to go. Miller's about half a second behind Chinsky. Remember, all the drivers have fresh tires and a fuel tank that will last them the rest of the race. So this will help all the drivers to have a clean end to their race here tonight. So we'll keep an eye out for all these drivers and see how everything turns out. Looks like we got a good race for 5th place between Hutchings and Franklin. So let's go hop in over there. Franklin's right on the tail of Hutchings. Let's see if he's able to pull the overtake right there. Oh, we got a close race for the lead between Chinsky and Miller. We'll keep it here for now, about 0.4 of a second. As they go through the tri-oval of the front stretch past the start-finish line. Let's see, I think this is where Chinsky's able to pull away. Unless Miller has a fast exit out of turn 2. Which it looks like he has a little bit of a faster line through the turns. Because he's down to 0.3 of a second. And Miller, chasing down Chinsky, is not able to make any mistakes. Chinsky is also not able to make any mistakes. Oh, and Miller does make contact with the wall. Any slight mistakes will cause a bigger gap between the drivers. And unfortunately, Miller did tap the wall, which does separate them to half a second now. As we're back on board with Franklin and Hutchings. Franklin, the number 3 car in the yellow car, and Hutchings, the red, white, and blue car. They are fighting it out for 5th place here on lap 69 of 100. And looks like they are running right in front of the lapped car of Mattingly. It'll be interesting to see if any lapped car traffic will cause any changes and will lead to any shuffling of positions. If you remember last race, the shuffling of positions did cause not incidents, but a lot of close racing. Oh, as Mattingly cuts in front of Franklin. Looked kind of risky, but I guess it was fine. No driver was hurt or harmed. So we continue. Looks like Chinsky is able to take a bigger lead again. Looking about 0.7 of a second. And we'll see if Franklin is able to pass Hutchings and take the 5th place position. Ooh, as Mattingly hits the wall hard. I hope he can stay on the apron. I think that's the inside part of the track. Looks like he is able to stay there. And he will. Looks like he's going to try to limp it back into the pits. Like a hard hit there. But we're going to keep an eye out on this race right here between Hutchings and Franklin. Although we may switch it over to the first and second place car of Chinsky and Miller, as they also have a pretty good race. They were at one point a tenth of a second apart from each other. Miller was able to catch up, or it looks like Chinsky was able to gain some speed and run away from Miller. Richardson is in third place. McKinney is in fourth place. The battle we see right in front of this is Hutchings in fifth and Franklin in sixth. Seventh place of Fluck is the blue car right behind them, right behind these two drivers. Eighth place is Mattingly, who's currently in the pits. Ninth place is Booker, and 10th place is Johnson, who's also in the pits. We are currently on lap 77 of 100. We got 24 laps to go. Anything can happen when these last 24 laps. As all races, you just never know what can happen and what kind of shakeups are possible. This is the fun thing about circuit racing and racing with cautions, because before the caution on lap 56, Chinsky was leading by a significant amount, I think by a couple seconds. And now, because of the caution, Chinsky's only leading by a second, which is still a pretty big gap. Don't get me wrong, it's still a pretty big gap. But compared to his 8 seconds, it's nothing. Let's hop on board Franklin's car and take a look at how the how this duel between these two drivers are. Looks like Franklin took the high line here and is able to get some good speed out of the exit of turn 2. And just leaves his foot on the pedal. The pedal to the metal. Wow. I can't English today. Leaves the throttle wide open and tries to get around Hutchings. Let's see if he's able to do so. It looks like he is able to do so at the end of turn 2. And now the question is if he's able to make it stick. We'll hop on board with the Hutchings and see his view right here. Looks like Hutchings didn't have a good... one of his turns wasn't as good. And is now sitting about 4/10 of a second behind Franklin. 1 point shift, downshift to third gear. That may have cost him a little bit, as he is now 6/10 of a second behind. So he keeps throttle wide open and from turns 3, 4 into the tri-oval. Downshifts to third. I think he's the first driver that we've seen so far who downshifts all the way into third gear. Redlines it in 4. Ooh, got close to the apron there. But did not go deep enough to cause any issues. Looks like he's staying in 4th here. Very interesting on how the drive is going for Hutchings. Downshifting to 3rd and upshifting to 5th. It's a lot of shifting back and forth. Change it back to the AI director here. Looks like we are on board, or we are following the lead car of Chinsky and the number 44 car. We got 85 laps. Sorry, not 85 laps to go. We are on lap 85 of 100 with 16 laps to go. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We're really happy to have you. This is FR Racing's Indy Racing World Series presented to you by Rogue Energy. Hope you all are having a good night so far as the night goes on and the racing continues right here on Stadium Scene TV. Looks like all the drivers are a little spread out here on the final 14 laps. 14 laps is still a lot of laps, so can't count anyone out. About 1.8 seconds between Chinsky and Miller, and 1.7 seconds between Miller and Richardson. McKinney is sitting behind Richardson about 4.6 seconds, and Franklin about 4.2 seconds. And Hutchings back behind Franklin by about 2.8 seconds. At one point in this race, it was pretty close between Franklin and Hutchings. They were going back and forth. And now we see Franklin taking off and leaving Hutchings on his own. Looks like there's a couple cars in the pits that are potentially getting some repairs done since they used up their fast repair on one of the incidents prior to another one. I'm not sure when they happened, so I will not be doing the replay to try to catch what happened in the incidents that got these drivers into the pits. Ten laps to go. We're on lap 91 of 100. I'm not sure what Chinsky and a lot of these drivers are running for time-wise around the lap, but I believe they were running 24 24 mid to high. And they are fixing their setup, or not setup, but shifting their weight around. As I said at the beginning of the race, they were exploring around with the weight jacker and I believe the tow bar. I didn't write that part down, unfortunately. But because of that, I think each driver found what they're comfortable with what they're most comfortable with, and are running different speeds and different times around this course. Looks like Chinsky with his setup has found a nice groove in the race course and is just taking the lead in a dominant fashion. 7 laps to go, 94 of 100. Let's go on board with Ian Miller in the number 48 car, who sits 2.7 seconds behind Chinsky. He's also had a great night. It looks like he's just not quite good enough to beat Chinsky, but still a pretty good night so far. With 6 laps to go, lap 95 of 100. We'll hop on board with Richardson here. He was at one point 1 lap down in this race, and now is in 3rd place, sitting about 1.5 seconds behind Miller. And maybe, just maybe, with 5 laps to go, we will see something where he gets up and close with Miller to fight for 2nd place. With 5 laps, I'm not sure how much time he has left, and if he has enough time to do so. 4th place of McKinney, sitting about 6 seconds behind Richardson. The number 8 car, he's had himself a pretty good night as well. fifth place of Franklin, about 6 seconds behind McKinney as well. Had a good fight with Hutchings, who's currently in sixth place, who is 3 seconds behind him. They had a good race against each other, and it looks like Franklin has taken fifth place over Hutchings, and he will finish with 3 laps to go, laps 98 of 100. Hop on back with the lead driver of Chinsky, as we got 3 laps to go. I think we'll do one of the laps inside his car as he crosses the start-finish line. And we'll hop on board with him and go around the racetrack. Got 2 more laps to go. We're on lap 99 of 100. Maybe we can see the white flag waving as he passes the start-finish line. And there's the white flag, the final lap, lap 100 right here. Oh, and it's getting kind of close between Miller and Richardson there, about a second. I don't think he's got enough real estate to come back. And looks like Chinsky has won the race. With Miller in second place, Richardson in third, McKinney in fourth, Franklin in fifth, Hutchings in sixth, Fluck in seventh, Mattingly in eighth, Booker in ninth, and Johnson in 10th place. So, the race has ended. And we will be dragging the top 3 into the broadcast booth and getting some interviews with them. So let me see if I can put this in slow-mo as Chinsky does his burnouts. And I will drag in... it was Richardson and Miller, I believe. Yeah, Chinsky, Miller, and Richardson. Okay, cool. All right. We'll drag Eric Richardson in, Ian. And we'll wait for Joshua to jump in later. Hey, Eric, you got a copy?
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you doing?
A little bummed at how it ended up going, but glad I was able to battle back.
Yeah, you went from 1 lap down to being back on the lead lap after the caution flag came out on lap 56. How'd you feel about the race overall tonight?
Overall, pretty good. Just could not figure out that first turn.
It looked like a lot of people had issues on turns 1 and 2. What kind of strategies did you try to go into turns 1 and 2 there?
Just try to keep it from sliding up the track pretty much.
Oh, okay. Well, good job tonight. So, third place, not a bad finish for after being a lap down and then being able to come back and finish on third and finish P3 tonight. Anyone you'd like to thank for tonight's race?
Just everybody continuing to come out and keep racing. We'll make some adjustments and keep making it fun.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you 2 weeks from now at Las Vegas.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Sweet. Have a good night. Hey, Ian. Got a copy?
Hey. Yes, I do.
How's it going tonight?
It seems like it's going pretty well.
Yeah, nice job on your finish. Second place tonight. Started off third off of the beginning of the race and then up to second place. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you.
How did you feel in tonight's race? You look like you had a pretty good driving line.
Yeah, it seems like I had good pace, but like Eric, I was never comfortable with turns 1 and 2. And it was crazy, sticking behind Joshua, seeing how quickly he was able to attack and exit that corner so consistently. That was just really impressive. Yeah, just um, and then yeah, bumped the outside wall and lost the toe. Otherwise, I feel like I might have had him on tire wear, but even that would have been a little bit iffy.
Ah, I see. Anyone you'd like to thank for tonight's race?
My beautiful fiance and the family members that continue to support me and continue to tune into this, and my cat for not stepping on my power strip this week.
Well, I'm glad that your cat stayed off your power strip today. Nice job tonight. Will we see you in Las Vegas 2 weeks from now for the season finale?
Yeah, we should. I'm loaded up a practice while I was doing this interview, so trying to put some laps in to see how the car feels.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, have a good night and congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you. Bye.
And Joshua, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Thank you.
How did tonight feel? It sounds like a lot of people had issues with turns 1 and 2, but it looks like you were doing real good through turns 1 and 2 right here.
Yeah, I kind of figured out the line and just the approach for it. Now, in all fairness, it took me pretty much until last night to get it figured out. I mean, it's a hard track. I mean, almost all the YouTube videos for like the track guides and previous races are either with open setups, so you can run more downforce here, which is what you normally do because of you have turn 1 and 2, or before they took the IndyCar license away, this was a night race, so the temperatures were different, and then you could also still keep it flat to the floor. So it's a little bit of a different track to drive and figure out. But yeah, it just, I mean, I do think that was the kicker here, was I was able to figure out 1 and 2, because otherwise, Ian's absolutely right. I mean, I think it would have come down to the last couple laps in regards to, I think my tire wear was doing fine. I even I bumped down fuel modes just to make sure that I was going to be safe for the finish. But I definitely think it would have been a battle there in the last couple laps.
Wow, yeah. You look really good through turns 1 and 2. How long did it take you? How many, like, maybe not hours, maybe hours. Yeah, we'll go hours. How many hours did it take you to figure out turns 1 and 2 here? With all the practice you did.
All in all, I mean, probably 2 full fuel stints. So
Okay.
I'd say about, I mean, almost race distance, almost 100 laps to get it figured out. Yeah, I mean, I found the consistency fairly early of just being able to put in like relatively similar lap times over and over, but they weren't as quick as I felt like they should be. And that's where really I had to dive in and figure out, all right, where am I losing the time, and where can I get better?
Wow. Well, good job on tonight's race. Looks like the hard work paid off for you tonight.
Thank you. Yep, looking forward to the finale at Vegas.
Oh
The
yeah.
city that never sleeps.
Yep, we'll be racing under the night lights. Anyone you'd like to thank for tonight's race?
Want to thank all the guys at SRT who are tuning in. My boys over at OMAS. Love y'all. And then HSR for practicing with me, tuning in this track, and just making sure that we're all as prepped as we can be for it.
Awesome. Well, nice job tonight, and we look forward to seeing you at the season finale in Las Vegas.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you guys there too.
Sweet. Well, have a good night.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you very much for joining us here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. Next week we will be off, but this Saturday we do have the GT Sprint Series, so please join us right here at Stadium Scene TV. DJ Fluck will be hosting the broadcast, and I will be co-hosting it. It will start Saturday, May 11th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Time. So please join us as we race at Mount Panorama Circuit. That will be a fun race. I took a couple laps around it. Kind of hard to get through the back half of the race, but I think that'll make it for some fun racing There are no points involved. It's just everyone's there for fun, having a good time, and just getting some practice in. I'm not sure if there'll be weather like we did last month at Daytona, but if there is, that'll make it a lot more challenging. So if you could tune in Saturday 9 a.m. Eastern Time, that would be awesome. If not, I will see you 2 weeks from now right here at Stadium Scene TV at Las Vegas. That will be May 21st at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We look forward to seeing you then. And until then, have a great night and have a great rest of your week. Thank you very much, everybody, and take care. Bye-bye.